Happy Friday the 13th. It's May 13th, 2016, and this is your weekly shout out. Sorry I missed last week. It turned out to be just a hectic day, and before I knew it, I looked up and it was nearly 5:30 and had to head home for the weekend and didn't get a chance to hit record on the button before I left that day. So got a lot of catch up to do to talk about what's going on in the city and accomplishments here in the department. Last week we had a pretty lengthy city council meeting. We had a couple of appeals. We had an appeal on Buena Vista that took nearly 3 hours for a single family home. This was the second time that the city council heard the item, so it took quite a lot of time and a lot of passion on both sides. Ultimately, the council voted 4-1 to deny the appeal and allow the project to proceed. We had a rehearing on Slow Brew due to some noticing problems, and now we've got that project that's been authorized for a use permit and a change to the airport area specific plan. That same night, we also there was an item for Christine and Katie's compensation, and there was a retention bonus that was provided to both of the appointed officials. Moving forward to next Tuesday, we've got quite a lengthy consent agenda. We've got nearly 21 items, and we've got a presentation before that by Cal Poly on infrastructure projects. And then on the consent item, we're consolidating the municipal election for 2016 in November that the county will run for us. We've got a report on the donation station, which if you followed that, these are the stations you see throughout town. They're repurposed parking meters that are used to collect resources for the homeless community. And we've collected nearly $8,000 already, and we've been allocating that to homeless services. In our department, we've got a banking services RFP that's going to the City Council to replace Bank of America, which will be our treasury until September 30th of 2016, and then after that we hope to get better service and then at the same time reduce our costs. But the main event for next Tuesday is the rental housing inspection program, and it's a report on what's happened during the last year. Beyond that, we've got a closed session on the 24th of May in which the council will be discussing labor negotiations. We then move on to our next meeting on June 14th. The June 7th meeting has been canceled, and that's really all about budget. We've got a 4 o'clock start time in which the water and sewer fund reviews will occur, transit fund and parking fund review, and then we'll move into a presentation by Vilma and myself for the 2014-15 cost allocation plan, which we're wrapping up just right now. And then on the main item that night will be the supplemental budget. Zena and Tracy have done just an amazing job putting together the supplemental budget. It has been an entire team, I think, citywide effort to work on the salary schedules and the changes to the MOA agreements, and then to incorporate all of the SOPC changes for 16-17. Overall, the budget message is, the city continues to see steady growth related to our revenues. We are making, I think, very prudent and long-term investments in capital infrastructure. We are going to make some progress towards paying down our unfunded liabilities, and we'll be investing in a lot of the equipment and staffing that's needed in the finance and IT departments, and also to support our friends and colleagues in HR and the city attorney's office. So a lot of exciting stuff happening in the supplemental budget. If I were you and wanted to learn more about it, I'd read the budget message from Katie, because it really provides a very succinct summary of the philosophy and the approach to developing the 16-17 budget. That same night, we'll also be hearing a presentation from utilities on the urban water management plan, a very significant document that really charts out our water supply and what to do under drought conditions. We're rethinking some of the assumptions that go into that document in light of the climate change projections that we're currently facing. And then as we get into the next meeting on June 21st, we have the main items are a report on our economic development program and then our natural resources program. And then we take a little bit of break until July the 12th. in which we'll be looking at public facilities financing and adoption of the slow transit short range plan. That kind of takes us through July. Now I'm going to move on to what's going on in the departments and a few shout outs. Dawn has been doing a lot of work with our friends in public safety, working on the locations for the AEDs for the fire department, assisting with sewer assets for the new track for 24-28, and she attended a 2-day seminar for California Incident Management Team. Nicola's been working on a few different projects. I'll just cover a couple. She's been working on the base map for San Luis Obispo. She was also working on current development projects, the web map, and then also working on historic properties lists with Dr. James Sinclair. Jason and Haley attended a conference. And oops, I'm sorry, wrong conference. That was still Nicola. She attended the CalGIS conference in Anaheim. Jason and Haley have been working on environmental safety training and then working on the WRF project. Nick's been making some project on the thin client updates, continued on the EPCR project, and we performed some routine server maintenance, and you may have seen some emails coming out from Nick. Eric has been working on some various latency and disk I/O issues, and then rebuilt our internal Windows Update Service network. And then Eric Geddes, moving on to him, has been working on EnterGov with Simon, and he's been working with me on the motion presentation in addition to all the other duties he's working on. And last but not least, Kevin has completed the initial design of our data warehouse that will allow for EnterGov to be used directly in GIS and online server. So a lot happening as usual with our IT team. Over here in finance, we have wrapping up the cost allocation plan. There has been a full, effort on the budget, and thanks to Tracy and Vilma and Lynn for their work and collaboration with Zena and allowing Tracy to really support Zena through that process. And, it's been really great to have Kelly here. She has learned quickly and is doing a great job supporting the department, but also doing various other duties and assignments related to the budget, and she's really stepped in. Michelle Bullo has continued to be a resource for Kelly as she navigates her way through her first budget, and we hope that, in the future when we have our new budget system that's budgeted in the SOPC for next year, that ultimately a lot of the manual data entry and room for errors will go away with a online budget system that everyone can access. Addition, I want to welcome Michael to the team as our new payroll accounting assistant. Michael has stepped right in, been working hand in hand with Lynn. I think he's needless to say, shocked by the complexity of our payroll system, given the interface between IntelliTime and the various different bargaining units and MOAs and the various different types of compensation that we have for the variety of employees here at the city. But he's certainly up to the task and has the background and expertise to come in and look at making some changes. Additionally, there was some work by Vilma and her team to catch up on some payments related to our insurance. And I want to thank Marjorie for her ongoing willingness to help out. She stepped up and helped the team reconcile some of those accounts and made sure that those checks were cut this week. Last but not least, I want to thank Barbara, who's done a great job as well with the volume of checks and purchase orders and that are moving through the organization right now, as everyone is really, I think the fiscal year spending kind of reaches its crescendo as people are making those purchases that were budgeted in the current fiscal year budget. Last but not least, I just want to close on a message that many of you have begun to start to hear about SLOHAS, which HAS stands for Healthy and Smart. It is really a citywide initiative to talk about, in its simple terms, the vision and thinking about what we want for the people who work here at the city, which is we want to have a healthy and smart organization, healthy and smart employees. And what that means for you is, on the healthy side, real high morale, clarity about organization goals and mission, clarity about role and purpose. And on the smart side, we want to have good systems, good business processes, and great technology that supports the city. You'll be hearing more and more about Slow Has as it continues to permeate through the organizational culture. And you'll see both Katie and myself will be making a presentation to all the departments and talking about Slow Has and the Motion Project and what it means and how we believe it'll be a transformational process for this organization in terms of making sure that we're prepared for the challenges ahead. So thank you everyone for all the work and progress this week. There's a lot of things coming up on the council agenda report, and I continue to hear a lot of feedback from folks about how grateful they are with the way our team continues to embrace both the change and at the same time the requests that come in to us as service department. Next week I'm going to talk a little bit about GFOA and some upcoming site visits, so stay tuned for that. We've got some work to be done on process improvements, and Lynn and her team will be giving me some details that I can share about GFOA's visit to streamline both bank reconciliation and payroll. Have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll see you all on Monday.